Good afternoon. This is the meeting of the Program and Policy Committee meeting. It's coming to order. It is 12:31 p.m. here at the Samuel A. Meyer Boardroom, located at the Alpha Lee West Building, Room 105. This meeting is called to order. I'm going to do the roll call. Jackie Levin Ramos, present. Erica Benavides Garcia.
Present.
Lizzie Newsom, I believe she's on her way. Ms. Ernestina Tita Cantuvela is on her way as well. And we have our chair, Mr. Esteban Rangel. Thank you for being here. The roll call has been made, and we're going to go to number 3, discuss the status update of the Faculty Council's adoption of a constitution and bylaws. What we're going to do is we're going to push that one until Ms. Newsom comes in, and then we'll go ahead and review it as soon as she comes in. Number 4, update on the Faculty Council in accordance with Senate Bill 37, Dr. Minita Ramirez, Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, Ad Hoc Faculty Council Committee. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Program Policy Committee members, Dr. Minita, and all our colleagues. I'm Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, Provost Vice President of Academic Affairs. So we've been meeting all year long on the Faculty Council, and I'm very happy to say we have our established bylaws that I'm going to give to you all right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we leave the ones for the 2 ladies? Yeah, just with it so they can be ready. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We have them, but they're the ones that were, changed. And then, Dr. Tijerina.
Yes, ma'am.
We got a copy of the bylaws, but they have the highlighted areas, and then you gave us the final document. Is that correct?
Well, it's still a draft.
Okay.
The bylaws, they have been reviewed by legal. And the reason I say it's still a draft is because technically we don't have the Faculty Council set members, right?
Okay.
Right now we're going through the election process. Who I'm working with is called the Ad Hoc Committee,
Okay.
right? Because technically we haven't done the elections. Elections are going on right now.
Okay.
As we speak. Actually, we got our first elected representative. But what I wanted to give you, I guess the updated information is that we're ready to go when the council does get established. The council will be divided into 9 delegations, which is the second packet that you have in front of you.
Hello.
Chair recognizes Ms. Newsom in attendance. Thank you for being here.
Sorry. We're talking about. Y'all know where it was. Sorry. Thank you. This is what we're talking about. Thank you. The bylaws. We're gonna. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So we've been working, Dr. Ramirez and myself, we've been working with the Ad Hoc Committee. The Ad Hoc Committee consists of Dr. Gilberto Martinez, Maximiliano Zapata, Mary Province, Dr. Horacio Salinas as a resource member for the faculty, since he's very familiar with the legislative session and the updates that have been going on. And
Brian
and Brian De Jesus. Those are, sorry, thank you.
and Miguel Contreras.
And Miguel Contreras. So we do have a good representation, and really they were former members of the Faculty Senate. And so we have this ad hoc committee that we meet frequently, and through them, we have developed the 9 delegations that you see on the second packet. And they're evenly, all departments of the Division of Academic Affairs have been equally divided. Oh, I'm sorry. It's because what Elizabeth presented was the old version last week, and I apologize. What I
So this is the correct
distributed,
one.
yes,
Okay.
so
So they just
will,
brought it.
I will send her the
That's fine.
clean.
That's okay.
No wonder I was like, what is she talking about? I
Yellow.
was thinking the
Yeah.
blue highlight. Yeah, I apologize.
That's okay.
I'm glad it's cleared out
We have
now.
it in front of us.
But you have a copy in front of you,
Yes.
and attached is also the listing of the faculty council delegations.
Yes, we have them both.
I also like the fact that Elizabeth gave us that one to see
Correct.
how it evolved into the one that you gave us today. So I do appreciate that. I mean, it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we have 9 delegations, and in each delegation, there's different departments that were assigned to each delegation. So what's going to happen out of these delegations is they're going to have 2 elected representatives that the faculty will vote on.
Each of the 9.
So in other words, delegation 1, the behavioral science department, the social sciences, the English languages and cultural and fine arts and communication will have 2 representatives that come out of those departments
Out of each department. Or no, as a total.
as a total of
Okay.
a delegation, yes.
Super delegation.
So think of it like a state.
2 per
Yes, sir.
is it
Two-
2 per delegation?
2 elected officials that the faculty get to vote on.
Faculty voted. Okay.
One will be appointed by Dr. Ramirez. So a third. So in total, now, why are we doing that? Because that's the law in accordance to Senate Bill 37, where 2, so that's what abolished a lot of faculty senates across the state of Texas,
Okay.
where we had to now redesign them or reestablish. So now under the law, the authority the board has is to declare whether the institution will have an establishment. You all declared that
Yeah, we
in the
did.
policies that we did in the fall semester, right?
That's right. Mhm.
So now that you gave us the okay to start it, now we have to follow the membership, what it consists of as per law. And
Okay.
so only 2 electives
Hold on.
will be appointed by the faculty, and 1 will be appointed by administration.
Okay, let me just go back so I can make a clarification. So 1 is appointed out of all the delegations, 1 through 5, right? Or 1 through
9.
9. 1 is appointed from 1 through 9 or each delegation?
So each delegation will have an appointee
Appointed,
by
one
the
appointed.
president.
1
Yes.
appointed and
And 2
voted.
by the faculty.
2 elected by the faculty.
Mhm.
And that's going to be, so that will be, give us a total of
9 times 3.
18,
27.
27 members. Okay. Ms. Newsom, you had a question.
Yes, Mike. Let me turn it on.
Testing, okay. So my question, right, is, and I understand that, that all of these departments per se, right, they would each, I guess, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but guessing maybe each department submits one, and then as an entire delegation, they submit 2 names, right? So what is the purpose, and is it written somewhere where, and all due respect, Dr. Ramirez, right? No disrespect intended here. What is the purpose, and is it written anywhere that says that the board president has to also appoint one or choose one? Now, the reason I'm asking this is because can't, and this is a question, can't the let's say delegation 1, right? They submit 3 names, and then at the very end, the final decision would be Dr. Ramirez's, where from those 3, she chooses 1.
So to answer your question,
Mhm.
and maybe it wasn't meant this way, the board president has no authority in the appointment. So just to be clear, it's the president of the college that makes the appointment.
Correct. Yeah.
So under the
I think
law, board doesn't appoint. So it's because I thought you said board president, so I was thinking Mr. Rangel. Mr. Rangel
I'm
will
sorry, I
not-
apologize.
Yeah.
I meant college president. So I
college
did say
president.
Dr. Ramirez, right? I started with that.
Yeah,
So could this be an option where the delegation chooses 3 people or 4 or whatever, right? That the number would be, but the final decision would be Dr. Ramirez's decision. So, here comes delegation 1 and say, hey, Dr. Ramirez, here's our, the 3 people that we chose as a delegation, and we're a department of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But we chose these 3 people as a delegation, right? But here are the names. And then Dr. Ramirez would have she would have the ultimate say so from those 3, which one would be the representative for that delegation.
May I
So
interject?
that's a good question.
So may I interject? So I would like for us to look at Article 2 under the membership section. Of course, these are the bylaws that are being brought to us. And under the Article 2 membership, the membership requirements are that must be faculty members of Laredo College as defined by board and institutional policies. Section 2 is composition and representation. Council membership shall be governed by the board adopted policy governing member selection. Representation shall be based on the institution's delegations as established by the college. And if the college reorganizes departments, creates new departments, eliminates departments, or reassigns departments among delegations, the affected delegations and their representation shall be reconsidered and revised as necessary under board policy to ensure continued adequate faculty representation. All council members must be faculty members, so we've established that already. Except as otherwise provided by the governing board, the council shall consist of not more than 60 members, which we are under, and shall include 3 representatives from each delegation. 2 representatives shall be elected by a vote of the faculty of the representative delegation, and 1 representative shall be appointed by the president or chief executive officer. So when we talk about where exactly does it state the procedure that we're working on, we're looking at the composition and representation. We have not agreed as a board to adopt the bylaws just yet.
You don't have to.
You don't,
We
it's
don't
not
have to,
required by
because
law.
we just agreed to having a faculty senate.
That's
That's
all.
our only role,
That's our
right?
only role.
That's our only role. Okay, so then the bylaws have already been written out, and so now, what does it take? A suggestion, does it take, if we were to alter or modify or change to meet like a different perspective, like Ms. Newsom was suggesting, right? She's asking, where was it noted? And it's noted there in the bylaws. But now, I believe she's mentioning maybe how about if we thought about it a different way? I just don't want to overstep our responsibilities, which we have already done so, as far as making sure that we approved a faculty senate. And I'll come to you in a second. I'm just coming back. So I want to make sure, I want to make the clarification. So, Mr. Muir, give it to you.
Thank you. The way that we have to look at it is from a certain perspective, and it's what's required by Senate Bill 37. Now, Senate Bill 37 that deals with the faculty senate was a law that modified or actually established Section 51.3522 of the Texas Education Code. So this laws, you have to follow it, right? Now, what it says is that only the governing board can establish a faculty council, and by doing so, they have to do this. And this is what has to be done. 1, the board has to adopt a policy that says exactly what you see in these bylaws right here. And 2, so we got the policy. The law says that 1 member of the faculty council is appointed by the president or chief executive officer of the institution. So the law is actually saying Dr. Ramirez has to make that appointment.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that the law says is that the remaining members are elected by a vote of the faculty of the members' respective college. Remember we talked about this, the respective college or school. Well, it's divisions, that we have here. Delegations that we have here. So the bylaws, and when I looked at this, I was very careful, and I spoke to Dr. Tijerina about it, is let's compare it to Senate Bill 37. More specifically, we say Senate Bill 37, but it's Texas Education Code 51.3522.
Okay.
So you can't violate that. If you thought about, I'd recommend against it, but if you thought, well, I want to change the bylaws so that we can tweak this or that, I'd say, let's go back to your policy, take a look at what that says. What is required under the law to do that. So short answer, it's the college president, in this case, Dr. Ramirez, that makes that appointment. Now, the others are elections. It's the faculty council electing
Which we're
those
doing.
two members. Right. They're doing that, and then the college president makes the appointment.
Okay.
So another clarification, and I do want to recognize Ms. Vela in attendance. Thank you for being here. So the clarification is our responsibility as a board is to make sure that we either said yes or no to the faculty council. We've already said yes, and then the procedural process is going to be based on the individuals that are participating in the ad hoc committee. So they've created the bylaws. They're working through their election. And so what is the next step after this takes place? The installation? Am I correct?
So again, exactly what Rusty said. You all approved BGC local back in September. And BGC is that the only sole authority the board had was to establish a faculty council. So you all gave us that authority. So then the next step of that policy is administrative, and that's to create the bylaws. Now, the bylaws is really a copy and paste of what Senate Bill 37. We don't make the rule that we cap it at 60. That's the law. So that's why we have 167 or almost 170 faculty. Not all can participate as per the law. And so what we had to do was divide the colleges by either divisions, departments, and again, I will reiterate, this design of the 9 delegations came from the faculty's recommendation. However, we did put verbiage in the bylaws because tomorrow we don't know if departments are going to be reorganized or if the state's gonna call for different programs. There's gonna be closeout and reopening of programs in the future. So the bylaws gives us leverage to redesign. So today, our first faculty council is going to be 9 delegations. We don't know if in the future is going to be 10 delegations or 7 delegations, but there's leverage in the bylaws for the faculty to keep redesigning in accordance to what exists, from here on.
I'm sorry, and they make those decisions.
Correct.
They do. Once the faculty council is in place, or, and all the delegations are in, they make the decisions on their own bylaws.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
Ms.
As
Ramos.
long as they comply with the law.
As long as they comply with
Chair
it.
recognizes Mr. Rangel.
Thank you, Ms. Ramos. A couple of questions. Let's just start off, so just on the record. We did not want to get rid of the faculty senate, correct?
Correct.
It was the
No,
law.
we voted for it.
So just for the record, we had to abolish the old senate, correct?
Well, and for the law, I wasn't there in all the conversations of what lawmakers, so I can't.
But
Their
Senate Bill
intent was
37.
always to have a council for the
Okay.
faculty. However, before, in the state of Texas, 100% of the membership of any faculty senate was voted always by the faculty.
Mhm.
So now with
Right.
Senate Bill 37, they're mandating all higher ed institutions to have one appointee
Mhm.
by administration.
Administration, okay. So on this right here, Dr. Tijerina,
Mhm.
what part did you all, if any, did administration implement something in here? Or was it all the law and them, correct?
Correct.
So you guys had nothing to do with this?
Well, yes, we organized the meetings, we made sure they met, we
Okay.
made sure they stayed on track, we had a deadline, we were giving them the space and time and the support to make sure this happened. So just for clarification, Senate Bill 37 does not require us to have a
Any-
faculty anything.
We decided to.
We had the option to
Start a new one.
reinstate or recreate something for representation of the faculty,
Which we
Okay.
did.
which we
Which we
did
did.
because we feel very
Because we
strongly
care.
about that. But technically, I have some colleagues in other colleges that did away with it completely,
Wow.
and they're not going to do it. I have other friends that said, this is the way it's going to be. They wrote the bylaws for the faculty, and that's what's getting instituted. We did not want to take that approach. We wanted to give the faculty that autonomy.
Okay, so just for the record, you all did not write the bylaws for
No.
them?
So for the record, a lot of these terms are in
Correct.
accordance with Senate Bill 37.
Directly
So in other words, like section 3 and 4, the terms, notice how there's a difference between the terms of an appointed member that Dr. Ramirez will appoint versus an elected member by the faculty. Those terms are not what her and I or the faculty can decide on. That's the law.
Good.
So like that section is purely by Senate Bill 37 that we cannot deviate from. The same thing with compensation and reimbursement as an example. That is straight from the law. We cannot compensate faculty for serving on the faculty senate.
Good. My last, I'm
The
sorry.
same thing in removal. So I know it says there that the provost and the CEO have the leverage to remove somebody. That was not our terms.
It
That is the Senate Bill 37.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that to Dr. Tejeda. My last question is, I know that we had kind of a schedule of when this was supposed to happen,
Yes.
which was, we were shooting for January,
This month,
this month. So we are on track.
yes.
Yes and no, right? Because elections, I think we had in March or February, we're barely doing elections today, which the faculty, now again, on the membership, you have the members that are elected by the faculty. We're not getting involved in those elections. They will submit the nominee. We have created a email for them, which is facultycouncil@laredo.edu. And from there, they're supposed to submit their nominees to the ad hoc committee, basically.
Okay.
And then from there, as what we discussed, the departments, depending on the delegation, they're going to have to get together and vote on the two. So let's say there's 10 elected of each of the departments, the delegation has to vote on 2 members.
Okay.
And then from there, the appointee, so we're letting the faculty first vote on their members, and then the appointment will happen.
Okay. So then the only reason why we kind of are a little bit behind, it's nothing to do with administration.
No,
Okay.
it's,
That's
No.
it.
I do want to point out something else as we go on. Senate bill requires that their meetings be broadcast live.
Wow.
And so it's in the bylaws. They've included it in here. There are requirements for a quorum to be established there, which they never had to do before.
Correct.
Now, all of these things are required in Senate Bill 37. There are attendance recordings and for specific business, so they have to have a certain number of people show up. The agenda also has to be posted like we post our agendas for all of our meetings.
So it's a lot more formal, really.
So it's a
right?
lot more formal, and their roles, their duties and responsibilities are also delineated in Senate Bill 37. So if anybody would like a copy of Senate Bill 37 again, because we've sent it out numerous times, we'll be happy to share that again. And it's Senate Bill 37 from the 89th legislative session. Okay, because when you Google Senate Bill 37, you're going to get
89th
different ones. Make sure it's the 89th legislative session. So, so as you go through that, you're going to see that the committee, the ad hoc committee took it pretty much verbatim to try to put it all in there so that they would have some sort of representation.
And again.
And
the
we
ad hoc-
appreciate that.
And again, the ad hoc committee is made of
6
faculty members.
6 faculty members.
Exactly.
And
They're
it
making
was
their own
open
rules.
to everybody,
Right.
and we opened it up to
Right.
whoever wanted to
Okay.
participate in the ad hoc.
Very good.
And there were others, but these are the 6 that took the lead.
Okay.
Chair recognizes Ms. Vela.
You know, when I was a faculty member, I was involved. And I can see why a lot of colleges have opted out of it, because we didn't have to do any of this.
No.
I mean, we would just meet on a Friday afternoon and we just discuss whatever we felt the president that was elected by everybody would report to the president of the college. So I can see why many colleges have opted out of it, which is sad because this is a voice that they have, you know.
And it's important.
It's an important voice.
Yes.
And it hurts me to see this happen, but, you know, when they pass laws and change things, we have no say-so.
No recourse other than
None,
just to
none.
follow.
No.
Just to follow course. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you remember, did at one time the president got release time for it, for being a president?
Yes, so that
Right?
no longer can
That's no
exist.
longer because in essence, they were getting paid.
Correct.
So,
And again, that's not our rule.
no,
That's
no,
not
it's
you all's
no,
rule.
no,
That's
no.
That's the law.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments for this item?
Questions?
Questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
That's
Thank
question
you.
number, that it was,
Pretty clear.
number 4, update on the faculty council in accordance with Senate Bill 37. I'm going to go back to number 3 for Ms. Newsom. Discuss the status update of the faculty council's adoption of a constitution and bylaws. Ms. Newsom, have we complied with number 3 and are you satisfied or do we need to further discuss it?
No, I mean, I know it's underway already, so that's a good thing. It has taken a very long time. And the one thing that I'm going to say for the record is that we could have, and we should have, and I say shame on us, because we knew way before we decided that, okay, it needs to be abolished. And certain things could have been done differently had we started. I mean, there were some people that's, some colleges that started really early on with this to avoid this large, very big gap where you don't have any faculty voice and representation. And so, and I was looking through my notes. I just didn't bring that because this has been months, like this is a while back. But I do say shame on us because we did know the date and we did know when we could have gotten started, and we waited until the very last minute. As a matter of fact, I think it was after the fact. And so I have to go back to my notes and read up again. I don't have chapter 37 memorized, so but I am going to bring this up. Okay, so for right now, the good thing, of course, is that it's moving along, right? But I'm going to have to go back. And if there's something, if this is okay, if there's something that comes up, I can definitely bring it up. Is that okay? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Absolutely.
And if I may comment,
Dr. Eden.
we also have to remember that this law was to be implemented September 1st. We don't start September 1st. We start mid-August, right, with a faculty contract. So in their defense, they were caught in the middle of an old faculty senate versus designing the new faculty council. And I have to give credit to the ad hoc committee because even though it may seem to them that they're not working, they are. You have to consider also that their full-time role is teaching. And so to get a lot of them together, you're talking about past 4 o'clock. That may not end by 6, right? So it is difficult to implement something that comes after where we didn't have the summer to plan it out. And I do have to disagree that there's no faculty voice. There is plenty of faculty voice because shared governance not only comes from faculty senate or council now, it comes from curriculum committee meetings that we have, the general education committees, the faculty procedure manual committee, the evaluation committee. We have about 15 faculty committees where there's enough shared governance going on, for the record and the academic governance that we are required to have.
Okay, and so going back to thank you. Going back to what Ms. Newsom said, we did have a timeline,
Correct.
right? Correct. Can you share that with us?
Well, again, the elections are housed by the faculty, and if
Okay.
they weren't ready to launch the elections on time, I mean, that's not anything that I can push also. I mean, yes, we could have said, we're going to do this today, whether you're going to have representatives out or not. but we've given them ample time to start the elections and then, of course, the appointment. So we all agreed in our last meeting that the best thing is to do the elections now, declare a representative so that 26, 27 year, we have a true faculty council. That's why I put draft, because
Okay.
again, you know,
Because it has to be voted on them, by
Correct.
them. So
Correct.
the delegation has to be in place and before it is, becomes law, or whatever, policy or whatever. Okay.
And I do have to remind the committee that our responsibility has already been met.
correct.
Number one, right?
Yes.
Number two, it befalls on the ad hoc committee who is delegating and coordinating, such,
And our
such
faculty members.
items, which are faculty members. But if we request or we ask for clarification, we could invite one of the ad hoc board members or committee members to come
Or the
and,
committee.
and just come and have a conversation with us as far as this item on the agenda, right? Because we as a group are having questions about why it didn't go quicker. It should have gone quicker. We know the answers, right? However, we don't want to be bringing it up over and over again because it befalls on the ad hoc committee who was coordinating all of the events. Now, I do remember September, October, November, December, we were talking about it back and forth and so forth. I would ask Ms. Bocanegra to please go back into the minutes of the timeline for us. If you could provide us with that by the board meeting on Tuesday so that we can coordinate with our other board members that are not here so that they can see also the strategy of how it took place. Like when we said that we weren't going to have abolished the other faculty senate and that we created or we agreed to put in the faculty council. And so we want to see, I think sometimes I tend to forget too as well, but I would also really, really would want one of the ad hoc committee members to join us at the faculty, at the meeting, that the board meeting that we're having, just in case we have further questions, because from this point forward, it's going to be on the ad hoc committee to finish off the finalization of the process of this. So I would like to comply with the timeline, and so definitely it is something that I think that we deserve, not because we are supervising this instance or this procedure, but more than anything because we want to make sure that we're complying with Senate Bill 37 across the board with the clarification that's being done. Okay? Yes? Do we agree on that?
Yes, and for the record, they could not be here because they're in class,
Of course,
obviously,
yes.
but they will be here on Tuesday.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Ms. Vela, you had a question.
I never knew that this was happening until this Senate bill was passed. I had no idea. I don't know, I don't think anybody did. I mean, they just.
Senate Bill 37, once it passed,
Abolished
we
it.
took action.
Because you're saying that it happened.
Senate Bill
find it.
37 passed in the spring of 25. 25, 26, yes, in the spring of 25. Implementation was supposed to be in September,
Because
September.
you're saying.
right? But there wasn't final product from the legislature till the summer.
Okay.
So the final verbiage of that bill came out to us in the summer of 25
Right,
from the coordinating board.
right.
And the actual procedures came out after that.
After that.
So, but we can certainly get you the information that you all are requesting. It's not a problem. Please know that neither Dr. Marisela nor myself are trying to, in any way, shape, or form, take anything away from
No.
the faculty's opportunities to voice an opinion, have
Right.
shared governance, or support the development of our academic and workforce programs. They are constantly involved, and there are numerous meetings going on throughout the week for numerous reasons. We have a dual credit committee. We have about 15 or 16 committees that meet either with the deans, the chairs, the provost, myself, that is ongoing as we do programmatic reviews, as we do curriculum changes, as we do, and again, that is not to silence anyone, it is to actually encourage
Encourage,
people to get involved,
Right.
because we also need the help.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Tirina, you have something else?
We looked it up, and Governor Abbott signed it on June 22nd, for the record,
Okay.
of 2025. And it was effective September 1st of 2025. So that's why I said earlier that it put us in an awkward, right, because the faculty started August. But first we needed board action, and then we took it twice back because I think, of course, the term abolish scared everybody, but that is the term the state used. We had to abolish the
So you
old.
brought it to us immediately, but we're the
Correct.
ones
Well, no,
that had questions, and
I
so
think we
we,
did, yeah, we did.
we tabled it.
We did.
We brought it forward.
It was brought up in August. The board did not vote on it, so we had to bring it back in September.
Okay.
Any other questions? No. Okay,
I just don't want to feel like I had a part, or any of us had a part of this, because we didn't.
Correct,
And we've
You're
done
That's right.
all we can to keep it.
correct.
Okay.
And we appreciate that.
Yes.
question number 5, discuss the modifications to Laredo College DCB local policy employment practices tenure as required by Senate Bill 18. Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, Provost Vice President of Academic Affairs. So again, we're here to revise, again, DCB in accordance to the Texas Administrative Code revisions that have been made. If you recall back in 2024, we brought this to the board because at that time, Senate Bill 18 made a lot of adjustments to tenured faculty. And one of the major requirements was that we start a post-tenure comprehensive process for those that obtain tenure. Well, from 2024 to 2026, there's been also changes to the definition of what the state considers a faculty member. Okay. So one of the codes, as you see in DCB, is, and I'll read it verbatim, faculty member means, as per Texas Education Code, Section 51.943A2, faculty member means a person who's employed full-time by an institution of higher education as a member of the faculty whose primary duties include teaching or research. So if you recall back in 2024, because the definitions were already being set forward to us, we removed librarians and counselors from the faculty category positions.
Okay.
So from that action, then starting the next fiscal cycle, we no longer consider librarians and counselors in the faculty category positions, and they moved into the administrative, and when I talk about administrative, I mean the TASB, the exempt, right?
Sure.
The exempt status, right? So that was known and clear to the employees that were affected at that time. Well, as things evolved, there was more clarification by the state as far as what is a faculty member, to the point, as you see even in Section B, a person who holds a faculty rank, but who spends a majority of the person's time of the institution engaged in managerial supervisory activities. So including a chancellor, president, vice president, associate provost. So a person like me, right? It is clear I'm under the law that I'm no longer a faculty member, as an example, right? So needless to say, in summary, what these codes mean for the college is that a faculty member does not include an administrator, a librarian, a counselor, or a classified staff of the college district. Then we reiterated what a non-faculty means is any employee of the college district who's not a faculty member. So as per that definition, anybody who was on a tenure track before February 1st of 2023, who is not a faculty member, cannot be eligible to continue on the tenure track. because the law is clear on who is eligible to be considered a faculty member, and the law is clear as to who tenure should be
Tenure
delivered to.
Do we know a number of the affected individuals?
For the tenure track, it would be 2.
2.
Madam Chair.
Chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
Thank you. Dr. Tijerina, a couple of questions. What happens to you, just because you mentioned librarian, you have a librarian, but does teach an afternoon class?
One.
One, that's an adjunct, okay. So they don't,
Right.
okay.
They don't have that.
If you look at the definition, it explains adjunct faculty are
Okay.
not eligible for
Got it.
tenure.
What happens to and I believe you made this point when I spoke to you, like yourself, you have tenure, correct?
Mhm.
But
So
it's, like you mentioned, it's dormant.
Right. So, Rusty, correct me if I'm wrong, because we can continue, because I think to answer your question, look on page 5. So I guess any more questions on page 1?
Oh,
On the
definitions?
On the
No,
definitions?
I mean,
No, not
They
in
come
No.
straight from the,
Correct.
okay.
From the
Code.
law.
Well, if you want to do your presentation, maybe you'll answer some of my questions, and then we'll go from there.
Well, because 5, on page 5, will address what he's asking, right?
Okay.
What Mr. Rangel is asking. It says, a faculty member who receives an annual appointment or promotion to a non-faculty position, so what is a non-faculty, administrative
Tenure.
or staff, right, will not retain tenure to that position.
Mm.
Tenure will not be tied to such appointment or promotion, since only faculty members are eligible for tenure. If the employee returns to the original faculty member's position in which tenure was granted and is in good standing with the college district, then the tenure will be regranted to that individual.
Okay.
So you won't have to do certain years, you won't have to start from zero.
Well,
Well, you won't start from zero, but.
right, so after regaining the faculty member status, the individual must undergo a post-tenure comprehensive process after a year of serving as a faculty member.
So 1 year, like
Right,
probation, kind of.
correct.
Okay.
Miss, Dr. Tina, may I ask Ms. Vela, she has a question.
Sure.
I'm tenured. So if I were to come back, do I get it
You have
back?
to wait a year.
No,
I can't. I have to reapply.
You would have to reapply as a faculty member, and we no longer hire faculty on tenure.
So I lost.
By law, we don't hire
So
anybody on
when I-
tenure.
So when I retired, I lost it.
Well, basically, yes.
because you retired.
So Dr. Ramirez is correct, because remember, under the law, September 1st, 2023,
The law.
we had to close tenure opportunities. So I think in the very beginning of the policy, it says, as of September 1st,
Right,
2023, the college district will no longer offer tenure track positions. So to answer your question, before, when we could offer tenure track,
Right.
you would come in, I think it was 2 years, the old policy,
I think
and then
my-
you could regain it back.
I don't,
But because we're not allowed to offer any more
Then-
tenure,
then it's
yeah,
gone.
then it's gone.
in the olden days, when I got my tenure, I didn't have to do anything. And I mean, I was just,
Automatic.
it was automatic.
Mhm.
Because I remember coming to school and them coming in my office and congratulating me. I had no idea. So things, that was in the
No.
olden days.
In the olden days. And clarification is, it is as prior to September the 1st, 2024, correct? Because you mentioned 2023 on the DCB logo.
Yeah,
it says there.
no, it's 2023.
20, as of September 1st. Okay, I
Yeah.
see that. I see it right here at the bottom. Okay.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Rangel?
Yeah, and let me ask a couple of questions. Dr. Ramirez just made a really good point, and I think that it's important. So like Dr. Tijerina, that she's a bio major and she taught bio. If she wants to re-enter into her tenure, correct me if I'm wrong, she needs to go into bio. But if she decides to go into math or
Then she-
something,
It doesn't work.
it's out.
Because that's what it said, that you had to go back to.
To your original.
I did read
So,
that.
so that's important to know. My next question is, what other colleges have done this already, have implemented this?
all of them.
Everybody.
For the most part. Well, and I want to remind the group that a lot of community colleges do not offer
Tenure, I know.
Mhm.
Okay, so pretty much a lot of colleges have already done this.
Mhm.
Correct.
Okay,
The ones that do offer tenure.
So if you go, Alamo Colleges has completely done away with tenure for everybody. Nobody has tenure anymore. No one.
Even if you were granted.
It doesn't
before,
matter.
doesn't
Nobody
matter.
has tenure.
now, I guess this I'll talk to Dr. Ramirez about, but no, that's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And going back to the affected individuals, does it affect them money-wise? No.
No,
Okay,
No.
I just want to make
No.
sure clarification
You
is
don't get a
done.
raise when
So,
you get tenure.
You don't get a raise when you get tenure. It was just something that the college offered, right?
correct.
Okay, okay.
So number 6 is what Mr. Rangel just mentioned, that tenure is granted within a specific discipline or academic appointment area. A tenured faculty who voluntarily transfers or is appointed to a different discipline, department, or faculty role for which tenure has not previously been awarded shall relinquish tenure in the former appointment and will not retain tenure status in that new assignment.
Okay.
Okay. And then number 7, for faculty, number 7 is that for years of tenure service, only the years of service as a faculty member would be counted towards the placement of the faculty pay scale.
Okay.
And then on the post-tenure guidelines, because we still have a lot of grandfathered individuals like myself, the verbiage for 1 through 6 is to remove faculty member and put tenured employee, because there's still some of us that are in that weird place, right? Where we know we're not faculty members,
But you could
but
go
we
back.
have a dormant tenure. And what I mean dormant is because I'm assuming that, like in my case, I'll go back to biology, right? And assuming that's the case, then tenure will be granted. As Mr. Rangel said, if I move to organizational leadership, tenure will not follow me. So in probably next month or 2 months, we will present another policy of what to do in a termination case whenever we have to take away non-faculty members that have tenure.
Non-faculty members that have tenure, okay. Okay, Mr. Muir?
Yes, so this whole tenure issue, it's complicated and
Mhm.
involves constitutional procedures. The reason it's complicated is because tenure gives somebody a continued expectation of employment that can't be interrupted absent good cause. So that creates a property right. And what this policy does is it sets standards moving forward. So that's what so for example, as you were looking here, the folks in the tenure track position don't have a property right. So you have a property right, a property interest. So there's some in the tenure track position that, as Dr. Tijerina mentioned, that are not going to continue in that tenure track position because they aren't faculty
Because they
anymore.
Correct.
But we have to remember, those folks don't have the property interest that folks with tenure do have. So if somebody has tenure, this is going to kick in moving forward and not retroactively.
Very good.
Very good.
And could I
It's
also?
confusing and I think if you look at the letter of this law, so I looked at this policy and 2 other lawyers looked at it outside of the college. It was a lawyer from Houston that reviewed it and then a lawyer from San Antonio. We all took a close look at it. And this is something we are all comfortable with.
Thank you, Mr. Muir.
Mhm.
And the section entitled, the one that you just mentioned right now, that there were some individuals that had moved to administrative positions, but they still held tenure.
Mhm.
Could we just know a number, if possible, for the meeting?
It would be less, not more than 15. 15? Oh, I got it right.
David,
15.
David has it. David and you.
Hold on, because
David and you
I hear music, right?
Yeah, I don't me either.
Oh, they're having an
Oh,
event
they're
outside?
having
Okay.
events outside.
I thought our phones were automatically
I know.
playing music.
David should have tenure. You have
You have
tenure.
tenure, right?
Yeah.
For
For
math.
math.
For math.
Mhm.
Not a vice chair.
Okay. So give or take, how many?
15.
15?
Wow.
15.
There's not too many of us left.
Yeah, wow.
And if you were to move to another college, you don't
You
take your
don't-
tenure with you.
No. it's
Right.
only-
Correct. I
yeah.
just want to make sure that we
Yeah.
understand that. Some people don't, some other colleges don't offer it. Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
It's not a transferable property right.
No.
It's not a
No.
transferable property,
No.
right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
And
Ms. Vela?
I don't know why it even started. Was it because to give a faculty member maybe a little bit more
Incentive.
strength or,
Yeah.
in case of layoffs? Maybe, I don't remember.
Dr.
The
Ramirez?
changes
what I
to the
mean?
bill came after, there were some university issues that created some discussion amongst legislators
Mhm.
to make changes to the law. It really wasn't I don't think that in its original state was to affect community colleges because most community colleges don't offer tenure.
Mhm.
It did come out of the university issues that they
Yeah.
were facing with tenured faculty.
And it trickled down to us.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments, questions on number 5, the modifications to DCB? No?
No.
Okay. Number 6, discuss the modifications to Laredo College DMB local policy termination of employment tenure as required by Senate Bill 18. Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Maricel Rodriguez Tijerina, Provost Vice President of Academic Affairs. So DMB, because now we we have to align with the faculty member definition. DMB is for the termination of employment dealing with faculty, right? So that's why earlier we have to add a termination of tenured non-faculty positions. And that's what we lack in our policies, but we should present to you that new policy next month. But to redesign the DMB, it just strictly says at the beginning that this policy is only applicable to faculty members serving in the faculty member position as defined in board policy, DCB. And this policy does not apply to non-faculty employees. I'll make the corrections for the board, or if
That's fine. Yep.
That's fine.
That's-
and then now the post dismissal appeal gives leverage for the Board of Trustees to either,
3 or 4.
to appoint a committee so in this situation where we have to terminate a tenured employee,
Mhm.
we can have a committee to hear that hearing versus putting the board in that situation of hearing the hearing.
And the board, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, Ms. Cassandra.
and the board, who appoints that committee? We do? Okay,
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
asking,
what we're adding.
The board, okay.
Yeah, we're adding that the dismissal directly to the College Board of Trustees or to a committee designated by the Board of
I'm
Trustees.
sorry.
We're adding that because before it was just us, but now we're adding a committee
committee.
designated by
Right.
us.
Okay,
Ms. Vela?
No, Rusty.
Mr. Muir?
Yes, ma'am. This addition, there's a couple of reasons for it. One, under the law, and then another one is kind of a practical. There are certain cases when the committee who's hearing a termination, this would be a due process hearing, are required to have some expertise in the area of the individual who's being proposed for termination. So you got to look at that as you're deciding whether to have a committee or not. I think that's something that certainly the college president would weigh in heavily on and determine or give you some advice on that if you that would be appropriate. The other thing is these due process hearings take a very long time. It's like a mini trial. Witnesses testify, lawyers cross-examine them. So the board would have to examine, is that something that we want to undertake?
So let's ask the question, what is the composition? What if and when a committee would be designated by the Board of Trustees, what would be the composition?
You have a case-by-case basis. You just look at that on a case-by-case basis. There's some flexibility here. In the past, because the college has had over the last 10 years or so, 2 due process hearings. And in those instances, there was 5 faculty members that sat on those committees. And the faculty members conducted the hearing. So in one of them, the more recent one, Craig Wood was representing
Right
the
there.
administration. The employee was represented by George Altgeld. I provided legal advice to the committee, and it was limited to, here's what the law is, this is what it says, you can do this, you can't do that. They came up with their own decision, and a transcript, it was recorded by a court reporter, a transcript was printed up and circulated to the Board of Trustees so that you could see what the evidence was there. And then ultimately, I think that took place under, I'm trying to remember, Dr. Solis is what I recall, or could have been the end of Dr. Maldonado's term, but the recommendation was made by the college president. You all received the evidence, reviewed it, and then went along with the recommendation.
And to add to that, as Rusty said, it was it was 5 tenured peer faculty. And I will say they were here, I believe, from 7 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, just to put it in perspective, how long a hearing, because of the witnesses, the cross-examination, and the evidence that is proposed. So it is a very lengthy, very powerful, useful process. But what we're giving you all leverage is to appoint a committee to do that, so that the board is not put in that situation to conduct it.
Ms. Garcia?
Okay, I have a question. So I know, let's say we do appoint a committee, but is it, I know when you said on a case-by-case basis, is it like, this is the person that is in question? Oh, yeah. This is the person that's in question, right? Can we have a committee that serves just for that individual, and then another committee maybe for another individual?
Absolutely.
Because they differ in the type of courses that they teach or whatever, right?
Mr. Mira?
And you should, because
Okay.
it could be that a faculty member who's a biology instructor, assuming there's one that's tenured, is proposed for termination. Well, you wouldn't want to put, some faculty members that are on that have absolutely zero, or even all 5 of them, all 5 of them are on the committee and none of them know anything about that discipline. So you'd have to examine that and
Very
see.
good.
In the past, there was a pool of faculty members that were tenured, I believe, Dr. Armillas might remember, but to choose from, I think, is a pool
Right,
existing.
so it all depends on the subject matter, and yes, and Dr. Solis at that time, out of the list, selected the 5.
The
Oh,
five.
okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments for number 6?
No,
Okay. So we put that aside. That's number
no, number 7.
Number 6. Number 7, discuss the modifications to Laredo College DEC local policy compensation and benefits, leaves and absences. Ms. Veronica Cardenas. Thank you, Dr. Tijerina.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Veronica Cardenas, Executive
afternoon.
Director of Human Resources. And I just wanted to let you know, there is a DEC local policy that we want to add a subsection to, and it has to do with clarifying that when an employee moves from a position that earns vacation leave into a position that is not eligible to earn vacation leave, the employees will be considered separated from the leave earning role for vacation purposes. And just to give you an idea of an earning position,
10.
that would be all of your full-time staff members and faculty that are 12 months. Those faculty that are 9 months and 10 and a half months do not earn vacation because they have the summer off.
Okay.
And so what happens is some of our exempt staff have moved into faculty roles for it happens depending on the business need, the program change or restructure. And so because there's nothing in the policy that says, what do we do with that vacation payout? Do we leave it there? Right now, as it reads, it's only for when you retire or separate from the college as a whole. And so at this point, for example, any accrued but unused vacation leave will be paid out at the employee's rate of pay in effect during the leave earning position at the time of separation. And the vacation leave will not transfer to that new position. So it pretty much sits there. Unless we do this change, we will be able to clear it out. And we've been working with the payroll office to identify those individuals, and so we can pay those out. And the same thing will happen to an hourly staff member who has earned vacation and also has earned comp time. At the time that they do separate and go into a faculty role, that is 9 months or 10 and a half months, then at that point, we want to know what to do with it. And so this will provide that clarification, whether you move from a staff to a faculty position that doesn't earn, and also for those 12-month faculty, because it also happens when a 12-month faculty also moves into one of those roles. The vacation accrual is just there. So pretty much we're just trying to add clarification as to what we can do with those monies.
So the changes in the policy stipulate that the payout would be made until they're terminated from their job,
Correct.
like when they finish their service to Laredo College. It could be A, they move on to another job, or B, they retire.
That's correct.
So you'd have your little, little nest egg there waiting for you, not earning interest, of course. But are we talking about a lot of people?
We're talking about maybe about 20 people, and we don't pay more than 160 hours. And so what happens with the current employees, they want to use that vacation, but it's kind of difficult when it comes to being in the classroom. And so we want to be able to give that to them. And so we want to make sure that we address that.
Could we not offer the opportunity to let them decide whether they want to take the money right now, or?
It stays for accounting purposes, it stays there, and we do want to clear it out. And remember, we're going to pay them out at the rate that
Of
they
what they're
earned
getting
it,
paid at the end.
not right now.
I have a problem with that. I do. Because if I stay another 15 years and I'm earning, let's say $300 a day, I'm just saying $300 a day, those days that I earned when I was in the other position, which was 15 years ago, are going to get paid at the $300. No? Okay,
Right, and we've already checked with TASB, and as per law, we have to pay it as per what they earned.
what they
That when
earned
they
or what
earned
they
it, when
earned?
when they earned it.
Okay, when
So
they
they
earned
earned the
it.
vacation during the staff role 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago. It's at that point in time that we pay
Okay,
payout.
so then it would be at what they were earning.
What they earned it, yes.
Okay,
What they already earned it at.
So
And-
if you earned it, you were a staff member and you were earning at $120, right?
Mhm.
And then you go to faculty and now it's at $280, right? The hours you accumulated as staff are gonna stay at 120.
okay,
You will, even if you retire 15 years later, that payout is gonna come at the rate at which you earned it.
earned it, okay.
Because
Am
it's
I
already
correct,
been
Ms. Guerra?
earned.
Correct,
Okay.
that's correct.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make that clarification, because otherwise, well, I'm going to wait until I retire, because I'm going to get a real hefty check, because I'm earning it at what, and it's happened in other places. It's happening in other places where, in other organizations where they pay them at the rate that they're getting earned, despite the fact that they move from departments. And so I just want to make sure that it's stipulated there, where the payout will be calculated at the employee's rate of pay in effect at the time of separation.
That's
which is, okay. So, and is it going to be, maybe we can include, and will be properly documented, so that we're doing this right now, and then 15 years passes by and we're all gone, and then somebody says, well, just go ahead and pay them at whatever the amount is, right? So we need to make sure that we have clarification, especially whoever comes after us, make sure that that is, in essence, it's like written in stone, that's, the rate was, this was the rate for you at this particular time, when you moved to another department. I guess in an employee's file or
So, so what's,
payroll?
so what we're gonna do is give it structure,
Okay.
right? So what's gonna happen is, if this gets approved, by the board, what we're gonna do is we're gonna send out notifications to those that are impacted. And we're gonna let them know that it's going to be at that rate. Now, when this happens for the future, what's gonna happen is we're gonna let them know that, what's gonna happen between the staff and the transition to faculty, and we are going to document that.
Okay.
We're gonna tell them, we're gonna pay, and we're gonna pay it out pretty much as soon as the transition happens. For
That's
this
best.
particular group, our goal is to notify them in the month of May if we are approved. We are going to notify them to let them know that we're gonna do the payout in the summer. But we don't want to do it past August 31st because we have to do it this fiscal year. That's our goal. And then anything going forward, as soon as it'll be part of their transition packet, let's just put it that way. We're going to let them know you're going to go into this non-earning vacation role, and we are going to pay you at this rate according to the position you're leaving. And so that's already in place for when someone separates, so it wouldn't be anything unusual because you're separating from your staff position. But we are going to put it in writing for them.
Okay, very good. Okay. Questions?
Ms. Ramos, may I?
Yes, yes.
So for clarification purposes, I guess, Mr. Vela and Ms. Cardenas. So if I'm transitioning in December from a staff position to a faculty position, before August 31st of that fiscal year, you're going to pay me what I earned as a staff member at the rate that I was earning it. So it's not going to stay and accumulate or stay in the coffers anywhere. You're going to pay me out before I start the next role.
That's correct. Our goal is to, again, giving it that structure, we're not going to wait 2-3 months. We're going to go ahead and say this is part of your transition into your new role. We're going to close this out, pay you everything we owe you, and you move on to the next role.
Okay, I see that better. That's what I was
That's-
asking, because I
yes.
was like,
That-
why
that's
can't
what
I just get the money right now?
like that.
as
And
I'm-
so then,
But
but
we have a group right now.
the current group,
Yes.
those 20 people, there is no way we can pay them out before August 31st to clear their record.
No,
That's the
what-
question for
that's our
Mr.
goal.
Vela.
We're planning to pay them out before August 31st.
Okay.
But we need it approved by the board first
Okay,
Okay.
to start that notification process. So in other words, we're going to try and clear out what we have now, and then going forward, giving it that structure.
At that.
Mhm.
so going forward, after August 31st, you would do it right away, or you would wait until the end of the,
So right now, if you all approve it this coming month with our next board meeting, then we're going to get the green light to notify this group and clear those out,
okay?
Okay.
right? We're going to let them know and send them something in writing, and we're going to plan and get that done right away. And so if we're looking at no later than, I'm just going to say June 15th. Let's just put, that's going to be our goal.
Okay.
And so that's going to clear everyone out. Our goal was, we said August 31st because we didn't know when we were going to get it approved, right? So it's going to be done in the summer and clear all that out. Mind you, this does not happen often.
I was gonna say,
So
that.
and we might see one every year, every 2 years, or even longer than that. But at the time that it does happen, we are going to take care of it right then and there.
Okay, so we have 20 people.
Mhm.
How long have these people been transitioned into other positions, and now they're waiting for the outcome of this item on the agenda?
So we just recently had one transition in January, and so they're asking for that.
okay.
And then we had one last year, and so we have like I said, 1 or 2. So it does go far back until before the pandemic. So we do have a good group.
And I will say, Ms. Ramos, that the reason we brought it came up was because of this individual who is moving that we saw in January that is going to move, and that person then requested it. And so we looked at the policy and said, well, then we need to adjust this. And so then we went through TASB, we went through the National Organization of, Human Resources to see what other people were doing. So we did the research first, and now we're bringing it to you for consideration and approval.
I think that's the best choice to bring it to the board, but I think we should have maybe not waited for that person to ask for the, for that, moving forward. But now we're aware. And so from this point forward, like you said, if the board approves it, then it will be right away when they transition.
Correct.
I appreciate it. Any other questions?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
That was item number 7. Thank you, Ms. Cardenas. Item number 8, discuss the approval of the Associate of Science in Criminal Justice, Dr. Heriberto Hernandez.
Good afternoon, committee members. Heriberto Hernandez, Associate Provost. This agenda item requests approval of a new Associate of Science in Criminal Justice Award. And I want to highlight a little bit of the approval process for these type of awards. Obviously, there's a lot of planning that goes in these awards at the departmental level with faculty, with subject matter experts, with industry stakeholders. But internally, it culminates with the presentation of our degree plan option to the curriculum committee. Right, so the curriculum committee is a body that's composed of 17 voting members, 14 of which are faculty. Right? Now, I've been a chair of this committee, and I think Dr. Dave has also been a chair of this committee, and it's a tough committee to manage because you have the majority are faculty, right? But I think it highlights the authority or the opportunity that we give faculty to make important decisions on what I think is one of the most important decisions, our curriculum, right? Our degrees, right? So these committees or the faculty that participates in this committee, they're from multidisciplinary, right? So we'll have arts and sciences, we'll have workforce, we'll have a diverse population of faculty that participates in these curriculum committees. We do rotate. We try to do it every 2 years, right? So everybody has the opportunity to serve in these committees as a faculty member. And again, they have a lot of voice in what's going to be presented, what's going to be part of our degree options. Once the curriculum committee approves it, we go on to the board for them to approve the award, and then we continue the external approval, which is with THECB and SAC-COC.
Okay.
For this particular award, it's the Associate of Science in Criminal Justice, provides a distinct university-aligned pathway that better matches how criminal justice coursework is structured at many of the 4-year universities. This is not an expansion of coursework, does not require any new resources. The degree simply reorganizes existing approved criminal justice courses into a cohesive academic award.
We offer, what do we offer right now in criminal justice?
So currently, we offer an Associate of Applied Science that is a mixture of academic courses and workforce courses, right? So students have the opportunity to take criminal justice coursework either as part of an elective of an Associate of Arts degree, an Associate of Science degree, or this Associate of Applied Science degree. However, the spirit of the Associate of Applied Science is geared more towards the workforce. Over the years, it's kind of become a mashup of academic courses and workforce courses, and we're trying to streamline that into just having 2 distinct pathways.
Okay.
One strictly for academic, and then the other strictly for workforce occupations or placement.
So your Associate of Science in Criminal Justice would be more
That'll be a more transfer degree.
transfer degree
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that you can get your bachelor's in criminal justice?
Exactly,
Okay.
yes. So all of the criminal justice courses that are part of the degree are part of the Texas Direct framework, which guarantees the transfer of those criminal justice courses to the 4-year degrees.
Okay.
And for
Question?
clarification, if it doesn't say applied, it's more academic. It's on the academic side. If it's applied, that means that there is a workforce component to it.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, questions, comments on number 8? Okay. Number 9, approval of Associate of Applied Science in Law Enforcement, Dr. Heriberto Hernandez.
Yes. So once again, this is a separate award, and this, like Dr. Ramirez mentioned, is more geared towards the workforce, right? So this one would be, the request is the approval of an Associate of Applied Science in Law Enforcement, which is designed specifically for workforce entry, right? So the main difference is that these courses are more practical, more applicable courses. There's a labs intensive courses. The others are more academic, theoretical courses. So the intent of this degree is to lead directly into placement in an occupation related to public service or law enforcement. Same approval process. It still goes to the community, to the curriculum committee, and it follows the same process. But with the hopeful approval of these 2 awards, there'll now be 2 distinct pathways, one directly for the academic and then the other directly for the Associate of Applied Science, which is more workforce-based.
Can you help me get a better understanding? Because I've been seeing a lot of former police officers that have their masters and they're masterpiece officers, and they're teaching with us, in the classes.
Yes.
So those individuals would be the ones that are being recruited to be because they're the masterpiece officer, right? So they're teaching these applied science and law enforcement and maybe the Associate of Science in Criminal Justice?
Yes, the intent when we hire, particularly in that area, is to hire folks that will be able to teach in both pathways. The academic and the workforce pathway, or the applied Associate of Science.
Okay.
To get more, more
Bang for your buck.
When we hire somebody, right? But currently, we have a great team. We've grown that particular faculty rank significantly, and they all come with tremendous experience, and all can teach in both tracks.
Now, at one point, our police department did not get a chance to teach, even though they were masterpiece officers or they had a master's degree. Is that still in effect? Like, do they get a chance if they want to be adjunct faculty? Can they?
Anybody can apply.
They can apply and
They
go
can
through the
apply?
processes. I don't know.
Doesn't mean they'll get hired, it just means that they can apply.
They can apply. Okay, okay. I
So
was just
to
wondering.
teach in the pattern is, or the requirement is, if you're teaching in an associate's program, you must have a bachelor's or better. If you're teaching in a bachelor's program, you must have a master's or better. And if you're teaching in a master's program, you must have a PhD or EDD to teach in that program. So ideally, as we plan for the future, we're trying to hire more master's trained individuals to teach in both of our programs, as these are leading into bachelor's programs.
But totally different from a masterpiece officer.
Yes.
Because a
is
masterpiece
correct.
officer works more with Kate at the high schools.
correct.
You can become a teacher, you get certified.
That's correct.
Yes,
Correct?
the masterpiece officer will do more with the TICO licensure and the different levels, while the master's degree is more on the academic side of things.
Okay,
Now, for both tracks, we do require the workforce experience, right, which is
Yeah.
key to bring that experience to the programs and to the students.
and the police academy is totally
Separate.
different
That's
from
separate, yes.
the Associate of Applied Science and Law Enforcement.
Correct.
But a student of the police academy could be or could have been enrolled in any of these 2 or in a degreed position and then become a police officer.
Correct.
Correct,
And a couple of days ago, we presented on an initiative of the prior learning assessment where we give credit for experience. So one of the largest populations we see that will get a lot of traction for that is with peace officers, right? So somebody that completes the police academy is now a licensed peace officer. The idea is to translate that experience, those credentials, to our academic program where they can get credit for the academic program.
Correct. Questions? No? None? Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Hernandez. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we go to item number 10, discuss the modifications to Laredo College Board Policy BD, local board meetings, and that would be on your packet, page 1 of 3, all the way up to 2 of 3. And I'm going to go back to what we were talking about with Ms. Cardenas. And we realize, I mean, it's not like we did anything wrong, but I do want to, you don't have to come to this, I do want to make a clarification. We realize that sometimes we have policies in place and then we make decisions and then we forget to go back and make the changes until maybe an experience happens. In this case, the gentleman asked the question about why he was not getting paid for his separation money. But to tie it into the reason why I brought this to the committee before I bring it to the board is because we wanted to make sure that all of our policies, including the procedural manual, is aligned. Now, our procedural manual was a work in progress for about, I want to say, like about maybe 8 years. We talked about it, we discussed it. We never really brought it to the board until last year in January, I believe, right? We finally put it all together, 24. And I know it had taken a long time to create the policy manual. I had discussed it with Dr. Ricardo Solis when he was here, but we never really could come to an agreement. And while I know that this relates to the board, not necessarily to administration, I think it's important for us to realize that sometimes we need to do a checks and balances on ourselves and remind ourselves that if there's some sort of correction or modification, that we take care of it amongst ourselves also and with the administration as well. I did realize that we came through a crossroads where we were talking about the deadline for submission. And, kudos to you, Ms. Bocanegra, because like you help us out with writing out all the information and everything. But then, like they say, prevail two heads are better than one, but sometimes we just we overlook it. So we want to make sure that we across the board for our board of trustees, that we are on the same page and that we are both aligned on the procedural manual and on the policy, that we come to an agreement as to the submission of items or, submission of topics and so forth. Mr. Rangel, do you have anything to add before I move on to
No,
the suggestions?
thank you. No, we did run into a situation on this one, and I want to go ahead and thank Ms. Newsom to bring it up. She made a really good point that, because of the law that changed, we weren't in compliance to the amount of days that we had to post. So as you all know, the law was you can post an agenda with 72 hours, and that is including non-working days or weekends, and they would count.
Yes.
Right now, it has to be a working day. So because of that, it does put a little bit more weight on administration because they have to now be very strict on making sure that agendas are submitted on time because of we don't have that weekend to go ahead and grab as working hours. So that did change. So that's the reason why Ms. Ramos is fixing this on our policy so that way we could be in compliance. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And submission of topics on page 1 of 3, a board member shall submit a written request that a subject be included on the agenda for a meeting to the board president and college president with a copy to the college district's attorney. The board president and the college president shall acknowledge receipt of the written request for the agenda item, and the deadline for submitting items for inclusion on the agenda is the 10th, that's the proposed 10th working day before regular meetings and the 10th working day before special meetings. I do want to remind, I know because when I was teaching, I expected everybody to be here, till like 7 or 8, like me, I was at school. And I finally realized that every Friday is a work day, is 12. So I have to remember that. And I have to remember that for Ms. Bocanegra, because she's the one that takes care of our documents and submits and reminds us and everything else. So the 10th working day before regular meetings, in this case, we gave it more than 10 days for this particular month. In some months, I think our 10th working day is going to work to our advantage because there is holidays in between. And of course, they don't count, right? Because it's a working day. So I am proposing to you all, my committee members, that we move it from the 6th to the 10th to give enough ample time to be able to have the opportunity for administration and or ourselves to gather all pertinent information that relates to the topic that we are submitting to the board.
Okay.
Do I have, comments, questions, or concerns regarding this particular section of this item for the BD local? No? Okay.
No. sounds
So we go to page 2 of 3 and the notice to members. Members of the board shall be given notice of a regular and special meetings, at least 72 hours was before. Now it's 3 business days prior to the scheduled time of the meeting and at least 1 hour prior to the time of an emergency meeting. Mr. Rangel, do you have anything to say about notice to the members? No? Okay. So it's still 72 hours if you look at it, but
But
we're
now it's business
putting
days.
3 business days instead of the hours.
Right,
Correct,
right,
Mr. Mayor? Yeah, anything you want to add to that? Okay,
If I can, so
Yes,
when the
please.
law changed, this is the Open Meetings Act, right? Because the notice requirements are all taken from the Open Meetings Act. As Mr. Rangel mentioned, it changed from posting your notice 72 hours in advance of the meeting to 3 working days. And depending on when your meeting falls, so if you have a meeting on Tuesday, you're going to have to post the Wednesday or Thursday, because Friday would be Thursday, a working day, Friday, Monday, and then Tuesday's your meeting. But so that's the posting requirement. This says you give the board members the same amount of notice. And that's very consistent with the practice. It makes a lot of sense.
okay, yes? Okay. So we move on to number 11, discuss revisions to the Laredo College Board Procedures Manual. Again, you have the manual with you. There has been an update since March the 26th of 2025. So we are looking at page 13 is the first page. And we are adding the board officers, the board vice president shall, whenever the board president is unable to serve, the board vice president acts with full force and effect on any matter which is the board president's responsibility. You can look at the manual. Ms. Bocanegra has provided us with the highlighted areas that are going to be proposed for modification. The board parliamentarian shall, and again, at the very end of that statement, board parliamentarian as needed. And so that has been modified on page 13.
Okay.
Page 14, board committees are appointed by the board president after each election of LC board officers. So the board committees include Student Success Committee meet at the discretion of the committee chair. It doesn't say the date now, because it used to say the date, Monday, Tuesday, Monday. And just like right now, I wasn't able to meet on a Monday. I did explain that it was not feasible for me to attend on a Monday. So it kind of sort of binds the committee chair to make sure that it's either on that Monday or Tuesday or the Monday of odd numbers. And sometimes we need to meet with
Yes.
student success. So I think we just need to make sure that we meet at the discretion of the committee chair, depending on when it's needed. So that's the proposition for page 14. Questions on page 14 or 13? No? Ms. Newsom? Ms. Newsom, go ahead. Yeah, yes.
So it is very hard, Thank you about that. It is very difficult for me to leave, the school. And like, for example, Monday, for the record, right, I was not able to attend the student success meeting, which I was very much looking forward to because I had an agenda item on there. And I was not able to attend because I have STAR testing at the high school and the middle school state testing. I can't leave. If one little thing goes wrong, that's my license. And so I now that we're talking about this and like, Jackie just mentioned, I couldn't do Monday.
one thing that I would like for the board and the committee chairs to consider is possibly maybe alternating, maybe doing, 1 month at 12 and 1 month at 5. Guys, I could even do like 4, like I could get, like, because it is very hard for me. And I don't like to miss meetings. I really want to engage and be part of this, but it does become difficult for me because of the school setting. I feel like if I leave and something happens while I'm gone and I'm here and I didn't call in an absence or something, that's my license on the line. It's my livelihood. I love this job here, but it doesn't pay. The one that pays my house is the one that I left right now to come here. And so I would just like the board and the committee members, the chairs, to consider, that and possibly, maybe alternate or say, what, Lizzie has a point. Let's. I mean, she's even willing to do 4. The kids are gone by then. That's why I'm okay with that, right? Like, let's do 4. Then that's just all I wanted to say, and hope you all can consider that.
And before I ask Mr. Angel, I understand, I empathize, because I was in the same situation before. And I think for us, as me as the committee chair, I can't speak for the other committee chairs, but I can say that the reason that I do 12 o'clock is because, well, 1, I can do now 12. But no, that's not the reason. I think the reason that I moved it from 5:36 was because we were spending, past the 6 o'clock hour, all the way to like 7 or 8. And, we had the opportunity to meet earlier. That's why we fluctuated with the time going from that particular time to this time. Can we, as far as, and I remind everyone here who's in attendance, as a committee chair, I feel like I'm open to suggestions. You call me, you tell me what your situation is, and we'll be more than happy to work with you. But I need to hear from you. I really do need to hear from you, because I don't even know if we're coming or going, because Ms. Bocanegra is the only one that will remind us, and then that's how I know who's going to be present. So that I do say to the rest of you all. But I personally, as the committee chair of the program and policy, I'm willing to modify every other month if possible. I don't know what the future holds, but for this particular month, it was kind of hard for me to do it on a Monday. So I would definitely work on where it says at the discretion of the committee chair. But I think we do have to have the communication with each other, remind us, because I did forget what life was like a couple of months ago, where I had an 8-to-5 job, right? So I do understand that, and I want to appease everybody. So as far as my committee, I like to do it at 12:30, because it appeases almost everybody in traffic and everything else. But I am willing to work with my committee members and maybe offer alternative times, maybe 4 o'clock, if it's okay with everybody. We'll work where the meeting is not overlapping on another meeting. So we'll go case by case, right? Like we'll see that. And then we'll have the discussion between ourselves, right? Okay, Mr. Angel?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to point that the time submitted for the committees has nothing to do with staff. It's based on the chair, if they want to have it at 8 o'clock, 12, 4, 5. So that's something, and I think Ms. Ramos, like, to answer Ms. Lizzie's question, I think it's important that talk to the chair, and ask them, but with time, because if it gets posted, then we can't move it.
Right.
So that's why it's important to, especially como dijiste, like you said, Ms. Newsom, that you had an item on student success. You wanted to talk about it. I think it was important. You should have called Ms. Garcia. Ms. Garcia, I have an item. Do you mind if you move it? So, like Lizzie said, I mean, like Ms. Ramos said, I think it's important that we have communication with it, all of us now. Like talking to Dr. Ramirez, the committees are not set up by them. It's set up by the chairs.
Yeah.
And I do know for a fact, because I have heard it, I'm not going to mention who, staff prefers to have it during the day. And me as a staff member, I have to attend board meetings. I hate staying there till 8, 9 o'clock at night. So I completely understand staff because I'm in that same situation. I'm so happy that Mr. Pro moved them to 11 o'clock now. So that means during my working day, I will be going to my committee meetings. So I'm super happy on that. But I just wanted to mention that, so.
It's all about collaborative communication between each other. And I think I personally think, no
No.
disrespect to you, Ms.
Yeah.
Garcia, but this is the best committee.
No, okay, well.
I'm part of the other committee too.
No, I know.
Ms. Newsom?
I
You're the
do,
money person.
Mr. Rangel, you're right, and Jackie, you're right. And I want to, make it known that I did send an email. I was very specific about this is a very hard time because originally it was scheduled for 5:30 and I was so excited, and then it got moved to noon. And right there and then, guys, when I read that, I did email and I said, it's Star Week. And then I even sent another email. I've even put it on text. Elizabeth Bocanegra also, on both of my emails, Elizabeth, correct? You said I've already advised the chair. So there was multiple times that I did express this. And so I just wanted to make that clear.
For me, and again, I tell the rest of my committee is just send me a text. And, I'll read the emails too, but again, ever since I retired, I just don't check my emails as often as I want to. So, but with that in mind, page 21, we do have revise the location, parking, and meal for the board meetings and revise the deadline for submitting agenda items. Page 22, remove the requirement to post the board meeting agendas at the Webb County Justice Center bulletin board, as the district will remain compliant with policy BD legal board meetings, and the policy provides that if the governmental body makes a good faith attempt to continuously post the notice on the internet during the prescribed period, the notice physically posted on the location prescribed by the Open Meetings Act must be readily available to the general public during normal business hours. Clarification, Mr. Muir? Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair, board members. So I took a look at this change in our board policy and the Texas, the Attorney General's Open Meetings Handbook 2026 and the statute. I would like to do a little more research on that issue,
Okay.
eliminating that. And if I could, I could do a couple things. I can get back to Ms. Ramos or send an email to the committee with what I found.
Okay.
Whatever you prefer.
So I will put this as a further review
Yes.
on page 22?
That's right.
Okay.
And I'll make a note here to email you, communicate with you by Friday.
Could you
way.
also focus on not only the first bullet, but the second bullet, which says that the meeting agendas will be emailed to board members?
I will.
Okay.
No.
Page 23, revise each officer position title to include board. Page 24, revise the wording to align with policy BD local board meetings public participation. Page 31, add a personal vehicle reimbursement guideline consistent with that followed by LC employees. Page 33, revise each officer position title to include board. And page 36, revise the language to align with policy DC local employment practices. Any questions for those suggestions? You may see them at your purview before the meeting. They're not, they're not like big changes or anything, but they're just like procedural changes, and will be pending what Mr. Muir gives us back from the page 22 about the posting to the Webb County Justice Center. Any questions, any concerns? No? Are we okay with it? Okay, very good. Okay. Esteban, Mr. Rangel.
I don't know if you, Ms. Newsom, when Ms. Ramos read the item number 3, you didn't have a comment for that one?
She did, she just said that it was okay that we had already been given the update. So I did revisit back.
Okay.
I did revisit, yes, sir. Yes. Okay, so it is, what time is it?
2:10.
2:10. And this meeting has adjourned of the Program and Policy Committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta go.
Yes.
I ran into the train.
Oh, you ran into,
I was going to, but I
Oh, but you know what? I didn't. By the time I noticed, I'd already gotten
Got it.
out. So I
Yeah.
went all
I
the
usually
way
go
to
like slow.
Lafayette.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I saw
so
it and
did I didn't see it.
I saw it right away.
And then I kept going and going and going and going.